Hello everybody and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. It is the 19th day of winter today, and we are into our third bazaar of the season. We only have one more left to go after this. We've got about a week and a half left in the season and things are flying by pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to today. And if you notice any weird cuts in this video, I do apologize because I am doing post commentary today. So I took it upon myself to sort of clean up things before I started. I was actually able to eliminate about 3 minutes of video just by cutting out some dead spots. So I will do my best. It's been a while since I've done post commentary. Not really sure how it was that I messed up, but I didn't want to re-record this Bazaar day because the next video actually is a direct continuation and it doesn't make sense without having this video as context. And this also is an absolutely amazing Bazaar day. And going to the bazaar, I have tried to add as much variety as possible with what items I currently have in my inventory. A lot of the stuff I have, I'm actually sort of hoarding and keeping for future seasons. But I have a lot of fish this time around. There was a storm and I was able to increase my fishing level, which was nice. And I've got a nice wide variety of fish that we can sell. I've brought along some coins. I have my lumber and my material stone to fall back on. And then a few other things as well. My seeds, of course. But a lot of the stuff you see in my storage I am keeping for other purposes. I do have a few things to grab on the way from the windmill. So what I'm gonna do is drop off some gifts on the way to free up some inventory space. I still have some chocolates from last bazaar. And as we give Antoinette this next piece of chocolate, you can see that her heart will turn from blue to green, which is really, really good. We've made some great progress on her affection this season. My plan of buying chocolate and wrapping it is working. It is certainly not cheap, but it is effective. Freya's still at a blue heart, but I still think that we are chipping away at the affection, slowly but surely. And then I will also stop in at Daisy before the bazaar actually starts. But I should be able to pick up the items I have in my windmill here. I have 2 purple necklaces and a ball of wool, and I left myself just enough inventory space to grab those things, which is great. And then I will also make another ball of wool since I just sheared my sheep earlier. We can't forget Daisy. We've been very consistent in giving her gifts all season. And she still has a green heart, but I think she's going to hit a yellow heart very, very soon. I'm going to transition from the hotel right to the bazaar. And we'll go ahead and get our Bazaar day started. I've also put in my inventory the sweets that I got from the girls from Harmony Day. They are worth enough money that I felt it was worth selling them rather than re-gift them when I could just re-gift chocolate. And then I have a few things I've won from the Bazaar and some of the other things that I talked about. So I've got to remember to sell all of my fish. I have a bad habit of somehow forgetting to sell them all sometimes. So I'm gonna make sure that we sell all of those so that I don't take up a lot of space in my inventory. Prioritize all of the other fresh items while also making sure that I have seeds to sell as well. And this is probably where you'll notice the most cuts in this video is just throughout the Bazaar. I do this when I record live commentary as well, and I promise you if I do cut things out, you have missed absolutely nothing. It's usually just me sitting here ringing my bell. Every once in a while, I'll cut when I have made a purchase or a sale or two, but you'll never miss anything that is worth seeing. We've been off to a really great start so far, and the first guy that's talking to us is the guy that I like to call Exposure Guy. He gets offended if you ask him to buy something, although I can't understand why because this is a bazaar. But if you're nice and you just say, hey, thanks for your help, he'll basically pay you in exposure, which I guess is good, but it feels like the equivalent of an influencer saying, hey, I'll pay you in exposure. It's like, no, please pay me in, like, money. I could use money. And our last bazaar was pretty quiet, pretty low-key. There wasn't a lot of action, there wasn't a lot of people talking to us. And this time around, we compensate for that by having Grandpa stop by. And just like last time, he's gonna buy a big old bag of seeds. And once again, tragic that I somehow lost my live commentary of this because I had just happened to have been talking about Grandpa and what a unicorn he is, and then he must have heard me or something because he just showed up, bam, out of nowhere. And he definitely helped significantly contribute to the end sales that I finish with by the end of the day. So thanks, Grandpa. You are the best. I don't actually have a lot of stuff to sell because once again I am selling single of items rather than a huge number of the same item. So things are going pretty quickly. At this point, I've blown through most of my fish, and so I've started to set out coins. And I also didn't actually bring that many bags of seeds as I normally do, especially when Grandpa was nice enough to come and buy one entire stack off of me. But our sales are doing really, really well. 75,000 at this point. And fortunately we have necklaces to be able to push us into the range of where we need to be to meet the sales goal, because otherwise I think we would have a little bit of difficulty. It's still really, really early in the day though, however, so I still have lots of time. But I do think we get more attention to our stall when we have more of a variety. And at this point, I will be running out of variety because I'm gonna just have seeds and lumber and stone to sell. And so I put my necklaces out, and I thought Amir here was gonna buy some with his prince money, but he didn't. We just had a nice little chat here about how nice winter was. And I was getting kind of nervous because the necklaces weren't selling, and then I had the other best customer you can get at the bazaar, and it's the lady who will pay double for an item, which just, I couldn't believe my luck when this happened, and I'm so sad that I somehow screwed up my recording so you could all get my genuine reaction to that happening live, because I basically just sold 3 necklaces when I only had 2 of them, and I've now officially had the best sales day of the entire bazaar, and it is extremely rare to have that lady show up and for Grandpa to show up at the same time, and it just so happened that she showed up and was able to pay double for the most expensive item at the bazaar. So after she bought stuff, the bazaar really died down, and I had stretches here where I was ringing my bell trying to get people's attention for a stretch of 10, 20, 30 seconds. And so I do cut out quite a bit of time here. I could have really stopped things after the lady came and bought my necklaces, because everything I'm making at this point is just gravy. I'm already at the best sales of my life, and I'm at the point where my inventory is going to almost be completely empty, which I don't think has really ever happened to us before, to be honest. I'm obviously gonna have to take my seeds home, but it's pretty rare that we have to default to our stone and our lumber. But I managed to sell out of even that. Now, luckily, it's just the last 45 minutes of the bazaar, so I'm giving stuff away for free at this point. I don't even need your money. I'm spreading my goodwill. I decided to stay right up until 6 o'clock, even though I didn't really need to, because I just wanted to see how much money I could make. And once I made a beautiful, nice, even number, $224,000 worth of sales, I decided to cut it, because that is such a satisfying number to end things off on. It just looks so aesthetically pleasing. And we are going to be keeping most of our money. There's only a few things we're going to buy. The first thing is the big bed. Definitely something we can afford now, and we need this in order to get married. It's only $10,000, and we have one more step towards being able to get married in year 2. And then I'm gonna buy a few things from Lloyd. I went ahead and decided to buy 2 of each piece of ore that he has here. I'm gonna buy 2 pieces of mithril for my hoe to do some upgrading there. I'm going to buy 2 pieces of orichalcum in order to upgrade my watering can, and then I will also buy 2 pieces of gold so that I can continue to make necklaces. Now, when I did my actual file that I'm playing on for real, Lloyd was selling silver instead of gold, but it doesn't matter. The prices are pretty similar between the two. And I think I was still able to come out with the same amount of necklaces for maybe a couple $1,000s difference. So it doesn't really matter all that much. And the ore for upgrades is just because I have the money and I haven't been doing a lot of upgrades in the wintertime. I figured it's probably a good chance to do it now before we need to use those tools again. And then from Wilbur, I'm going to once again expand my storage because it cost about $60,000, which I think is totally worth it at this point. It's still one of the cheaper upgrades. Everything else is going to start at about $100,000 minimum. So I think it's a good idea for us to hold on to some of our money in order to do some of those upgrades down the line. And I'm kind of surprised that Felix doesn't have any of the training tools for our pets available, but I'm going to just buy chocolate from him for now. I'm gonna buy 20 pieces, which is what I've been buying all the way along, spread out between our 3 bachelorettes. And it is also Amir's birthday next Saturday, so I would recommend buying that for Amir if you want to befriend him and give him a nice gift that he likes on his birthday. And he likes yellow wrapping paper. The only other thing that I purchased at this bazaar that you don't see in the video is wrapping paper. I do take the time to wrap all of those pieces of chocolate, but I've discussed before that it takes a really long time to sit here and do it, even if I speed up the emulator and mash buttons. And that only runs me a couple $1,000s extra. So we will be holding on to the bulk of our money. And it was just a really unusual bazaar because it was kind of slow and I was getting desperate on items to sell to provide a little bit of variety, but it also ended up being the most profitable because I had swallowed horseshoes or something and didn't realize it with how lucky I got with some of our customers. You can also see that the furniture vendor brought our bed right away. We didn't have to wait until the next day. I think the bedspread is supposed to be flowers, but I always like to think that they're little ducks. They look like little ducks to me. We will go and see our bazaar results to end things off, as we usually do, of course. Wilbur has given us more storage space. Thank you, sir. Can never have enough of that. And today is another day, just like the Pumpkin Festival, where we go from bazaar right into a festival the next day. It's the snowboarding tournament, so I will be back with live commentary right after this to go over that. The only thing left in this video is just to look at our bazaar results. I have thought about skipping these because we always win anyways, but it's fun to see how badly we crush the competition. The third place winner had $60,000. They didn't even make it into the sales goal. And it's also really funny that it's Wilbur because that means that we were his one and only customer of the day, since the job he did for us cost exactly $60,000. But $60,000 a pop is also pretty impressive for one job. Joan made a little bit of money at her store. She got just over 80,000. And then we completely left them in the dust with our over $200,000 amount, which is also double the sales goal. You would think by now that we would have gotten another Bazaar expansion or something with all this hard work and heavy lifting that we do. We also managed to get the customer service award. We did have quite a few people talk to us throughout the day. So that is another one in the bag. I think even without all the help that we got, we probably still would have been number one. Or so I like to think. And I thought for sure that we would have gotten a strawberry tea can, because that seems to be what we get as our prize, but we managed to get a bowl of sushi instead, which is kind of a weird prize. Hopefully we will get that Bazaar expansion soon as we go into year 2. I will be back with live commentary, back to how things normally are, to cover the snowboarding festival. I hope my post commentary hasn't been too horrible to listen to. It's been nice to get some practice, I guess. Hopefully I won't have to do it again and we can just carry on as normal. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.